bounce.
What's up guys, it's Eric from B-Side. Today we have here another new Toyota Tundra with factory JBL system. I know it's been a while since we did our last video, so I do another one. And today we're gonna show you two different ways of installing our plug and play Encore Alpha power amplifier. One way is you don't need to remove anything, but just the top panel, and you could reach back there to all the connectors that's necessary to connect to our amplifier, or you could just remove the whole thing. So we're gonna show you two different ways today. So let's go ahead and get started. And after we install it, we're gonna also show you the before and after, how much difference the amplifier makes in this vehicle. All right guys, now that we're in the vehicle, let me show you how to install our plug and play Encore Alpha amplifier. On this car, it's super easy. It's just like the Sequoia. You don't really need to remove this radio if you don't want to. Just pop up this top panel piece here, which will expose the connectors, and you can actually reach back there with your hands and unplug the connectors and reconnect the harness from our amplifier kit. So let me show you how it's done. You can use a panel removal tool if you wish, or if you have pretty strong fingers, you can just place your hand down here, and it's just being held by clips. Just pull it up, okay, to release the clips, and just work your way to the left. And go ahead and release this here, remove this. All right, so once you remove the top panel here, if you don't want to remove the radio, all you have to do is disconnect these two connectors, this one and this one. It's right next to each other. This gray one and also the black one on the side, and connect them to our plug and play harness. If it's hard to get to, you could also unplug these two connectors here. Just make sure you don't forget to reconnect them. All right, so that's how you do it. So we're gonna first remove the 4 10mm bolts up above it. Okay, so once you remove those 10mm bolts, go ahead and remove the side panel piece here. You can use a panel removal tool if you wish, or you can just grab a hold of this and just pull it out and just work your way to the left. You can also use some panel removal tool here as well. Okay, once this is out, there's a little clip here that you want to remove. So for this, it's gonna be here, just push your finger down here and swing it out like this, okay? Okay, so next, let's go ahead and pull this out. We're also gonna grab a thick towel here in a moment. Let me just release the clips first. Okay, so we'll just pull this cluster out just enough to release the screen. All right, there it is. And let me grab a thick towel. I'm gonna lay it on top of that. Okay, you can just bring it out here. Now we have plenty of room to work with. All right, now that we got the radio out, notice that these two are the connectors we're gonna be working with. Black one all the way to the passenger side and the gray one right next to it. Okay, keep that in mind. Do not plug it in here. And if you do it, it's gonna throw all sorts of codes. You might even short out your radio. So be very, very careful not to connect there. These two connectors, it'll fit into each other, okay? It's kind of scary. So be sure to connect here and here, okay? These two. If you need to make room, you can unplug these, especially if you're pulling it from the top of the radio. You need to unplug this to get to this. And then if you're working it from the top, you're probably gonna ground it on here, okay? But if you do remove the radio like I did here, you can ground it right here to the side. All right, so let me ground the wire first. Okay, so this is an 8mm. All right, now let's grab our two other connectors here. Okay, let's disconnect the factory one. So these two are still on the way, even from the back of, even from this angle. So let's just unplug them. It's very easy, just one pin plug. And always when you unplug these, press down the release tab and pull out. Don't pull on the cable as much as you can, because you don't want to damage the wires. So push down on the release tab. This one's a little bit more tricky, this black one here, than the other one. It's gonna require a little bit of wiggling. Okay, so same thing there. Okay, those unplugged. And let's use our plug and play connector. And this white one, especially, make sure you push this down all the way in. You hear that click. There you go. All right, when you're making these connections or when you're installing this, make sure you're in an environment where it's dust-free. You're not doing it in a sandstorm. You're not doing it while it's raining. You're not doing it under wet conditions, because any of those can short out your radio, the amp, or the car. If you're working in an area where there's a lot of rain, there's lint flying around, there's dog hair flying around, it goes inside your connectors and it's going to make these additional connections that you don't want to do, you don't want to make, and it could short out electronic components. So be very careful that you're working on your car in the correct type of environment. All right, so we got these two connections here. All right, so all the connections done. For this car, we're gonna leave it at the default setting at 12 o'clock both. Okay, this is the Tundra with JBL. Loop this all the way around. All right, and then we're going to apply some double-sided tape here. We're going to tape it all the way back here. There's a flat surface, okay? It's gonna look something like this, okay? And it will stay put. If you wanna, okay? If you wanna go really deep, you definitely can. Some space up here. All right. Okay, barely fits. So the kit's gonna come with double-sided tape. You can use that, or you can use any sort of double-sided tape, like the one you see here. You don't need too much. Okay, because we mounted it in here, I'm going to apply the double-sided tape on the top side, because that's where it's going to sit flat. Okay, so I'm gonna put it more on the upper side, up here, top side. Okay, let's go back. I'm gonna go to the same location, to the left. Okay, there it is. Flat surface, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so a little test, we'll go it around, make sure it's really solid. Okay, so once that is done, we are going to carefully mount the radio back to its original location. So let's grab our screen here. During this process, be very careful to not damage any of your interior parts or your radio. The key is to not bump into anything or touch any of the interior parts while you're handling the screen. All right, a few pointers. If you see this yellow cable here with this bullet connector, leave it alone, don't touch it. Don't try to unplug it, just leave it alone. This is a live battery wire, okay? So it's actually getting 12 volt right now. If that touches like the metal part or any other parts of the car, it will short your fuse. So blow your fuse, so make sure to not do that. And on top of that, if you decide to disconnect this connector here to make more room, make sure you reconnect it before you turn on the car. It's gonna throw a check engine light if you unplug that and you turn on your car. And you'll have to cycle your car 5 times, turn it on and off 5 times to clear that code. So make sure to keep that plugged in, or if you end up unplugging it, make sure you replug it before you turn on the engine. So push this back in. Make sure everything clicks back into place. Okay, push the cluster back. Okay, maybe put this back and let's screw the 410mm bolts back, and then we are done. All right, make sure, don't forget this right here. It's for your cigarette lighter plug. or your 12-volt battery plug. All right, terrific. That is done. Let me show you now the after.
Get the speaker box loud, hitting that stuff till you remember that sound.
All right, guys, well, that does it. We showed you how to install it. We showed you the difference it makes on this car. It's a pretty significant difference. I know there are now thousands of Toyota Tundra owners who has our amplifier. They call vouch for it. They can search and see what other people are talking about and the discussions that people are having in regards to how much difference this small plug-and-play power amplifier makes. You'll be very, very surprised. So if you're on the fence and you want to give it a try and you're looking for a very simple way to upgrade your sound system, look no further. Give our BeatSonic Encore Alpha power amplifier a try and you will not be disappointed. Thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't yet, help us by liking, subscribing this video, and we'll see you guys on the next video.